Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I'm your host, Boise, and was last night's Extreme Rules the most divided show in WWE history for some time? It could have been. Well, let's have a look. This is 2018's Extreme Rules Review. So usually we don't look at the kickoff show because hell, it's a kickoff show and it doesn't really matter. But last night we had two fantastic matches, and the first one we're going to look at was Andrade, Cien, Almas taking on Cara, and this was exactly what I wanted to see on SmackDown Live. They got quite a few more minutes in the ring and it was a well-performed match. Hell, they were doing Lucha Libre moves in the ring, which you expect from these two guys who have a Lucha Libre background, and it was exactly what I wanted to see. I honestly enjoyed every second of this, and it continued to make me think, why is this not on the main show? Because it outshone a lot of the main event matches in the home Extreme Rules. Andrade won again, brilliant match. Salima got involved, which was absolutely fantastic. She is a great manager. She got involved, distracting the referee and Sin Cara, allowing Andrade to get the advantage, to pull off his double knees to the face and to pin Sin Cara. For me, really well put together match. If we got a third one and they had some time to really build this feud, I could really enjoy it. I think it's got potential that if they do a third match, it could be a 5-star match. But for me, well done guys. I'm going to give you a 7 out of 10. The next match we got to see was an absolutely brilliant match for all the opposite reasons. Andrade, Cien, Almas and Sin Cara's match was a well-performed, well-executed match. This match was absolutely brilliant because it was everything different. It was chaotic, it made no sense, and it was fantastic in all ways. It was the New Day taking on SAnitY in a tables match, and my god, did they perform. You know what? I always give I take a little bit away from New Day because of all the jokes and all the silliness they bring. But when they are really in the mood to outperform, they can steal the show. And last night they stole quite a bit of it with SAnitY. This was SAniTY's first pay-per-view match, kickoff match, but I'm still classing it as their first pay-per-view match for the company. And it was brilliant. A lot of people don't enjoy SAniTY's entrance. I think it works for them, like the camera shaking. It reminds me of The Purge in so many ways. And yeah, it was just everything you saw. Kofi and Xavier Woods were in sync throughout the whole match. Young and Wolf were they could counter them. And then you had Big E and Killian Dane, just literally the powerhouse of both teams taking each other out. It was absolutely brilliant. SAnitY won, putting Kofi Kingston through a table, getting the victory. It works for them. I could see them becoming tables experts in the future. For me, it was all fun and games and I absolutely loved it. So if you haven't checked out the kickoff show, miss all the crap which they do with all the interviews and stuff, just watch the matches. It is worth watching. So for me, I'm giving this a 6 out of 10. Absolutely brilliant. Now we're going to look at the first match of the main pay-per-view itself of Extreme Rules, and it was the Raw Tag Team Championship match where we saw the Deleters of Worlds, Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy taking on the B team of Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel. And this has got to be the first match of controversial. Like it was very divided online, on social media, from the fans on how they reacted. For me, I was kind of happy to see this, but others were really like, well, the tag team division on Raw is just utter crap now, isn't it? And it was brilliant. I thought it was more interesting reading what social media, like the fans were saying on social media, than what was going on in the match itself. The match itself was quite bland. the Deletes of Worlds were very much the dominant team. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel just really didn't get that much offensive in until the very end, where Matt Hardy accidentally knocked out his partner, Bray Wyatt, allowing Bo Dallas to use his finisher. I don't know what it is because you never really see it. And they won the tag team titles. And the party started. Like, the B team went crazy. Like, they couldn't believe they won the titles. You know, I like what WWE are doing with the B team, but do I think they earn the opportunity? Well, this right to be classed as the best tag team in Raw? No, I don't think they are the best tag team in Raw. I honestly think that's still the Revival and the Authors of Pain are the two best tag teams on the red brand. But, you know, giving these guys these opportunities, allow them to show what they can do, make them a little bit more creative in their own, you know, in their own storylines, they could really work out well. And if this allows Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy to have a better feud than what we got the last time they feud, then why not? This could really work for them. But this is WWE we're talking about, and it's not going to happen. Hopefully something good will come out of it, but very controversial. I know a lot of people weren't happy and they said it was a really bad match. It was a bad match. It wasn't great. It was bland. So for me, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. It was very bland, but the celebrations afterwards really did help it. So yeah. Next up, we did have Finn Balor taking on Constable Baron Corbin, and the first thing I'm going to say is the Constable Baron Corbin gimmick has worked for Baron Corbin. I think it has added that extra dimension to a very stale heel, which Baron Corbin was becoming. He was becoming more of a joke every week before this, and I think him changing into a suit, shaving his head, has really added layers to him. It's not much more. I think it's like 2 layers now. He still comes across as an asshole, but you know, it's just that helps Baron Corbin having this type of match more than it helps Finn Balor, because of hell, listen to the fans. Finn Balor should be main event in every pay-per-view. He is absolutely got a loyal following from the WWE universe, and I can't blame him. He is. You look at him in-ring skills and you go, this guy has something. He's really good. I really want to see what he could do. And yet he's pushed into a mid-card feud with someone who's, let's be honest, he's not going to ever hold. If he holds a world title, that's going to be an absolute stinker, like Jinder Mahal levels of stinkiness. But, you know, this feud really doesn't work for me. You know, Finn is very much backed up from the WWE universe, as he should be fighting guys like Seth Rollins, like Roman Reigns, like Bobby Lashley, yet he's stuck fighting Corbin. And you could tell the crowd wasn't invested, and I'm going to say something. The crowd last night were awful. They were a crap crowd, and the matches deserved a lot better. I will get into it at the main event one, but yeah, they took away from the match a lot. But the match itself here, you know, Finn got a quick pin up against Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin went furious. This obviously doesn't end the feud between the two of them. You know it's going to continue for a little bit longer. A bit of a shame, really, because, again, like I said, both men, you know, Baron Corbin could easily be challenging for the Intercontinental Championship. Actually, the Intercontinental Championship is the only title on Raw right now, so Finn should be challenging for that. But Baron Corbin should be challenging guys at the mid-card level, not at Finn's level. So I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. Not a very good start to the actual main Extreme Rules show itself, though. When you think things couldn't get worse, we absolutely went back in time, guys. It seemed like somehow we went back 10 years to 2008, because I don't know what WWE were thinking, but the SmackDown women's match between Carmella and Asuka was the worst match I have ever seen. It just felt like a Divas match. It was a Divas match from 10 years ago. Ellsworth was in the cage, and yet he had spray on him, he had handcuffs, he had keys to the shark cage. How? And then he managed to get out, he fell, he got caught into the... and then Asuka, instead of beating the crap out of Carmella, well, let's be honest, Ellsworth couldn't freaking move. Asuka went, oh, I know, I'm going to beat the crap out of him, put my guard down from Carmella, who has constantly for the last few months, well, let's say a month solid, has snuck up behind me and kicks me in the head. That's going to work out well. What happens? Carmella pushes her into the steel cage, because that's right, the idiots on WWE decided to lower the cage to help Ellsworth. Asuka gets knocked out, Carmella pins her, Carmella's still champion, yet with no heat. Well done. You've created a heel champion who has no heat. Ellsworth, who you brought in to add heat to her character, has done nothing. He's literally a waste of time right now. And one of the best women's wrestlers you have had in years has been buried in one match. Well, second match actually. Let's say this is the second time Asuka being buried. And I know what they can say, oh well, she's protected because the cage was used as a legal weapon, and that's how it doesn't matter. You buried Asuka, you haven't protected her. She now feels a lot less valued in all the women's division thanks to this awful booking. And she beat the crap out of Ellsworth, who everyone saw had padding. Well done, well done. This match itself was absolute waste of time. Skip it. You'll be thanking me afterwards for doing it. You're gonna get a 1 out of 10 and an F you to every single writer who thought this was funny. Next up, we had probably the fastest match, but one of the best matches, a 5-second match when it was the United States Championship match between Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke Nakamura. And what a 5 seconds match it was. Jeff was getting ready, Nakamura looked like he's taking his jacket off, referee was about to point to get the bell rang, Nakamura low blow. I know people don't like it, it's very much like, oh, it's, you know, a low blow, you've taken one of Japan's greatest wrestlers and you turn him into a guy who hits people in the nose. It doesn't matter, it's a good heel tactic, it gets good heat and it works for him, right? Jeff gets knocked down, Shinsuke's taking his coat off like, oh, I didn't do well. Referee's like, are you alright? Jeff's like, yeah, I'm fine. King Slasher to the face. 1, 2, 3. New United States Champion. And what happens next is absolutely brilliant. Randy Orton's music hits. Everyone's thinking Randy's come out to help his old friend Jeff Hardy, you know, one of the biggest baby faces in WWE history. Comes out, chases Nakamura onto the announcer's table somehow. Nakamura looks really confused, and Randy Orton gets Jeff Hardy, kicks him in the nuts, and we have a return of a good wrestler. Randy Orton returns, brilliant, and he turns heel at the same time. And I know what you're thinking, hold on, how can you say Randy's turned heel with just kicking Jeff? Well, here's the evidence. Jeff Hardy's classed as one of the biggest baby faces of all time, and usually Randy Orton, if he's like in that between bit, he usually RKOs someone. When he really is a heel, that's when he started using his feet. Remember when he used to stomp everyone in the head? Yeah, well now it looks like he's going to kick everyone in the freaking nuts. For me, this was great booking from WWE. It takes the belt off Jeff, yet still gives great heat for both Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura. If these two have a feud for the US title, I would look forward to it. So for me, this gets a solid 6 out of 10. Next up, which also this match pretty much divided all the fans, and again was the steel cage match between Kevin Owens and Braun Strowman. Now, for me, as someone who's watched this feud build up and got to this stage, I've got to say Braun Strowman feels more of the heel than Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens hasn't wanted to have a fight with Braun. He tried to be friends with him. Braun didn't want to have that. It looked like he was about to eat him. He's bullied. He's tortured. Like Kevin Owens has a legitimate reason of being scared of Braun Strowman. The steel cage match itself had some brilliant segments in it, but my god, it was stupid at the best of times. Kevin tried everything. Every time he managed to dodge Braun Strowman's moves and attacks, he tried to escape. After a while, started fighting back. He handcuffed Braun Strowman to the ring, and that should have worked. He should have just pretty much ran straight up to top of the cage, but no, he pretty much told Braun to suck it and ran, and then started climbing really slow. Braun just went, "Oh, I'm Braun Strowman, I lift cars." Snap! And went, "I'm going to kill you." And he chucked Kevin Owens off the steel cage into the announcer's table. That was fine, it was silly, it did what it needed to. One of the best bits though throughout the whole match was when Kevin Owens used the stunner on Braun Strowman. I've even said, wow, I think even Stone Cold would be proud for that one. It looked good. I actually think it looked quite good for me. The match itself was silly and stupid, and Kevin Owens should have got out of that ring much quicker than he did. But it did what it needed to do. I know a lot of people did enjoy it. They said Braun's getting too pushed, and he's getting too much, big spot kind of matches. I do agree with that, and I do agree that it feels like Braun is the heel in this match more than Kevin Owens. If you had somehow turned Braun heel and Kevin face, but it's too difficult when Braun is very much liked from the WWE universe. Kevin Owens, I can see can be turned heel, babyface easily, because I think the crowd does enjoy Kevin Owens, especially when he's doing, like, he's one of those guys. He won't ever be a true babyface, but you could have him at that stage where he's not heel, but he's not face, and he could still say what he wants to, get away with it, and I think it would work. But for me, good match in parts, bad in others, so I'm going to give this a 5 out of 10. This moves us on to the SmackDown Tag Team title match, where we had the Bludgeon Brothers taking on Team Hell No, and what a match it was. Pretty much it started off backstage where the Bludgeon Brothers attacked Team Hell No, completely destroyed them, and it was well put together. It really put that sympathy on the team. Daniel Bryan comes out, the lone man, for 2/3 of a match. He was the only one taking on the Bludgeon Brothers. His selling was fantastic. It made it seem like Daniel's going to win it a few times by himself, but of course that extra man for the Bludgeon Brothers really came in handy. Kane finally came out for the last third. Really made a difference until the injuries of both Daniel Bryan and Kane really started to show. The selling here was fantastic. The Bludgeon Brothers did win, but what a match. Really well put together. But both teams, Daniel Bryan he elevates matches, and it was such a good match. It was one of my favourite matches of the night. Well deserved from all the guys. Deserve a round of applause, because it just shows you what good writing can do, and the right guy who's really got a fan favourite is. And so 7 out of 10. And obviously now looking forward to seeing what happens next with Daniel Bryan on SmackDown Live. Next up we had Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. What? This is not the main event. Sorry. That is not the main event. No. Roman Reigns is not in the main event of a pay-per-view. Are you sure? Apparently Roman Reigns was not in the main event of a pay-per-view. Hell's frozen over. Or Vince is dead. Better check on him. But yes, Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley wasn't the main event, and it was slightly different to what I was expecting. Of course, a lot of fans were expecting Superman Punch, Spear after Bobby Lashley dominates majority of the match. That didn't happen. It was the other way round. It was Roman Reigns dominating. Bobby Lashley wins with a spear. My God, hell froze over and won. Of course he won. He used Roman's finisher, got the victory. Bobby Lashley is now the big dog, and Roman is now a puppy. But yeah, it was definitely different. It was definitely something we weren't expecting. If you were expecting Roman Reigns to win, there you go. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This was a good twist on it. Roman dominating for majority, Vin losing. You don't see it often, and it's nice to see. For me, it gets a 4 out of 10. It wasn't a great match. The feud's been crap at best. But yeah, definitely a good twist in the match, and it was better than I was expecting it to be. Next up, we're going back in time once again to 2008 because the Raw Women's Tag Team match was legitimately a Divas match. It was boring, it was crap, and my god, I don't think any other women really knew what was going to happen in it. All the way through the match, it was Ronda Rousey this, Ronda Rousey that, which I can't blame it. She's a big draw for the women's division, yet it just felt like it was being pushed a little bit too much. Nia Jax had Natalya come out because she's Ronda's best mate, again pushing the Ronda Rousey thing, and then we had Mickie James come out with Alexa Bliss because they're best friends, which makes sense. My god, it was just weird. It was an Extremes Rules match which didn't feel like an Extremes Rules match. Natalya finally realised she was part of the match when Mickie James was passing weapons to Alexa Bliss from the start, because that's what you do, and Nia Jax was just throwing every single weapon into the centre of the ring because you just do that. Ronda Rousey botched a throwing Mickie James into the barricades, which was again stupid. How can you botch that? And then Nia Jax looked like she was going to do it. Kendo stick to the back by Mickie James, and then Alexa Bliss DDT on a bin and a steel chair. 1, 2, 3. Alexa Bliss is still champion. Am I happy? Yeah, Alexa Bliss is a great heel champion. Hopefully, God, they need to build up the feud on this. They need to do something with the Raw Women's Division. It's an absolute shambles. But yeah, it was going back in time. It was crap. It was awful. It's a 2 out of 10 because I honestly expect better from the Women's Division than what we have been getting. And it's a poor showing. So yeah. So we had the WWE title match, and if you are a fan of New Japan, this could easily be the closest thing to a New Japan story than we will get. I bet you're going, boys, what are you talking about? How can this be like a New Japan story? Mainly because of the type of match it was. AJ Styles told a story, and Rusev was also there. Rusev was really good, and this was really something I think Rusev really wanted to do in his career. Because it was different. It was a different type of match than Rusev's ever been in, I think. And AJ just used his experience. And it shows. It was a storytelling match where AJ worked the leg, worked the leg, worked the leg. Everyone was expecting the calf crusher. Rusev had been stating his calves are the strongest calves in WWE. AJ's not going to win with this. He didn't. But AJ damaged Rusev's legs so much. Rusev couldn't even lock in his finishers. That's how good this was. It was a good selling, a good storytelling match, and it's something you don't often see in a WWE ring. Only when AJ's in the ring now, it seems, and he has that creative freedom to do these type of matches, and it really worked for AJ and Rusev. I'm not joking. Aiden English took a lot of the heat, and that really saved Rusev. If they're gonna turn Rusev face, it would make sense sooner rather than later, because it was a damn good match. AJ did win, but my god, I give credit to Rusev for having probably the best match he's had in years in WWE last night. It was just one of those matches. I recommend watching it. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's great. 7 out of 10. Entertaining. AJ just shows you how AJ is the best in the world right now. And then last but not least, it was the main event, and it was the 30-minute Iron Man match, and it was Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. And I told everyone today that this was the match to watch, and it really was. It did everything I was expecting and more. Both guys just stole the show, and you expect them to. I told people, and they're like, yeah, it's Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins, so you expect them to be the best wrestlers on the show, and they were. Seth got a 3-0 lead at one point. Then Drew McIntyre did get involved, which did help Dolph reclaim 3 more pins after Drew McIntyre got kicked out of the match by the referee. then Dolph got a 4th pin, which really put the pressure on. And WWE did really good booking on this one, where they had really quite a quick amount of pins in the first 10 minutes of a match, and then like the last 20 minutes there was none until Seth got his 4th pin, really drawing it up. Finally looked like he was going to get the winning pin, but time ran out. Really well put together was this match. I saw it coming that Dolph would get it as a draw, but this really just elevates both men into capability. Dolph's holding the title, he's like, yeah, I've done it. And then Kurt Angle comes out and goes, yeah, we don't have draws here. We're going to start the match again. And it's extra time. And it literally, Drew McIntyre came out of nowhere, distracted Seth. Seth about to punch him in the face. Dolph uses his finisher. 1, 2, 3. Dolph is still Intercontinental Champion. It was a good twist. It was like, oh, he could do it now. Oh no, well done WWE. You swerved it quickly enough. But it was like, whoa, that was really quick. Whiplash. The ending was really quick, but I think it made sense after a 30-minute Iron Man match. They wanted to finish it off quickly. But yeah, an 8 out of 10 match. It was a decent match. Now, let's get Seth onto the Universal title. He deserves it. He is Monday Night Rollins in my eyes. So, can't wait to see what's next for the Architect. Brilliant end of the show. And that was Extreme Rules 2008. And I love bits of it. I hated other parts of it. The crowd were awful. The crowd ruined it for me the most. The women's division is absolutely shot. And I feel so sorry for Asuka and, you know, everyone else performing in that division. It's ruined. It's really ruined. I think Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler just elevated themselves to another level. Daniel Bryan just proving he is one of the best wrestlers in the world by having that type of match. AJ Styles got an absolutely brilliant storytelling type of match, which you don't often see in WWE ring. SAnitY and New Day should have been on the main card, and same with Andrade, Cien, Almas and Cara. That should have been on the main card. And Finn Balor should not be in the mid-card division. Simple as. But that's my thoughts on Extreme Rules. What did you guys think? Did you think it was okay? Did you think it was bad? Leave it in the comments below. And if you want to know the final score for Extreme Rules, it was a 5 out of 10. Very, the bits which were good. Bits which were bad were bad. There you go. If you want to follow the channel, you can do. You can follow us on Instagram at Smack Talk Wrestling. You can follow us on Twitter at Smack Talk YouTube. That's you and Tube. And you can follow me on Twitter as well at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.